guys, welcome back to the channel. So my name is Akoya. I am a mom of 3. Today I'm going to be reviewing 3 manual breast pumps. These are silicone breast pumps that you would wear on the opposite breast as you are nursing. The 3 that I will be doing is the Haakaa, the Elvie Curve, and the Boon Trove. So these 3 are all made of, mostly comprised of silicone, okay, and they are meant to be worn on your opposite breast. So let me just show you how they would attach. The Haakaa you would squeeze, put on, it goes a little something like that. Then the Elvie Curve you push in here, center your nipple, and it goes like this. And you can see it through the top part there. And then you release with this valve. And the Trove, very similar to the Curve, you push in, centering your nipple. It's a little less room there. And then you can get it to squeeze and you can see it on the top there. And then to release, you kind of do exactly what you did to put it in. Give me one moment. All right, she's back. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of how these would be used. You would attach them prior to starting feeding your baby. So let's just say I'm using the Haakaa, okay? So I have attached it. Now I'm gonna have to have my bra down to be able to attach it. I have not tried this. I might have tried it with my first baby using like a pumping bra, but to get the this part in there, I mean, you can do it into a pumping bra, but you cannot get it out of your bra full of milk without creating a massive mess and pretty much spilling everything. So this would be a full shirt down, full front exposed to be using the Haakaa. And another thing that a lot of moms say on the internet, and I also experienced, is that your baby can hit and kick this and it can cause it to lose suction and then fall off. Now, I never had mine fall off. I was too afraid of it, but I did find that the way it suctions, on was uncomfortable. Like, as you can see, it really pulls the nipple down in here, and as it got heavier and full of milk, it would pull my nipple down and create a lot of tension on the upper breast tissue, which I did not love one bit. And then, yeah, my child, it was very hard to position him in a way that he wasn't running into this with his body, his hand, or his leg. So I felt like it was always gonna fall off, or he was hitting it and it was pulling on my nipple, making it very uncomfortable for me. Along with just the top part of it being so heavy, when you sat it down, it was very unstable. And I found that to just be really difficult. So this is not my favorite pump, although the price tag is less than some. I just still think that $15 to $25 for this item, it could be so much better. So then Elvie came out with this one, and then there's the Boon Trove. Now these are much more similar in shape. They both fit within your bra, just your normal nursing bra, while feeding your baby. So you could wear them when nursing around others. You would not be fully exposed, and you could have a nursing cover or no cover and wear these and attach them with no problem. So the Elvie now has a plastic shell and it's a little bit bulkier than the Trove, but I actually find that to be very useful, and I'll explain to you why in just a minute. So the Boon Trove, again, is like this. I find your nipple can get a little run over there. This only holds 3 ounces of milk. Now that part for some might not be a big deal, but I do like that this one holds 4 ounces. I find a lot of times I pump between 2 and 3 ounces, so then this is right up there and very full. And with this one, there is no flat spot on the front, so it always needs to be stored upright like this. Now, it does balance better than the Haakaa upright, but it's just not perfect. And if you do it like this, it can be laid like that, but it's just not super stable. So you can create some kind of swirling in there. But I would say my two least favorite things that I've noticed with the Boon Trove, which I want to love, is that it's a softer silicone, so when it's in your bra, you can accidentally bump it with your hand, or your baby could kick it, or even your bra can compress it slightly, and it can release the suction and or squish the milk up and start pouring it out before you've had time to fully situate. So while you're like burping your baby, you can bonk it, and now it's desuctioned and the milk's just swooshing around against you. And if you have 3 ounces of milk, that can make a real big mess. So that's one thing I find to not be my favorite about this. And then the pour spout is right here. You can see maybe that there's an arrow there, but I find that it's not funneled quite enough, and it wants to pour in a wide area, making it very hard to put in like one of those little breast milk bags that you would put in the freezer, and sometimes even into a baby-sized bottle or jar. It can be difficult. Now, if this was the first one I had used, I might not have such irritation with those things, but I find that the Elvie curve doesn't have any of those problems. So with the hard plastic on the outside, when it's in your bra, you are not getting any of that compression. The silicone is a little bit harder and sturdier, so it's less likely to get smushed when you're burping your baby. So you can attach this, feed your baby, do the full burp, set them down comfortably, and then take this out of your bra because it's not going to spill and disconnect. It also has this valve on top which releases the suction, making it, my boob is shrinking over here, making it so you can adjust it to your liking. So you can have it on super suction or medium or light suction, and even the light is still very suctiony with this particular shaping, okay? And then you can also use that to remove it, so you're never having to squeeze where the milk is setting. Where on this one, I find you can't really squeeze this, do this part, because that's where your breast is. You almost have to do it more in here, and then you're rubbing up, okay? Then it's got the flat bottom, which is a nice wider base, and it's really evenly weighted, so it sits nicely this way, but it also has a flat part here that makes it set and not wiggle on a counter. And this is how I prefer to store it after I've filled it. This also goes all the way up to 4 ounces. Now, if you get it all the way to 4 ounces, it is right to the edge, but the way they curved this does hold it in quite well. And I would say of all 3, this shape that they have, of the 3, the shape on the Elvie curve is the most comfortable around the nipple and areola. The last thing about this, it does come apart easily to clean, the 2 of them. And I find that just taking it fully apart, like once a day or every 2 days, works great. Otherwise, I just clean the inside really well, you know, every time I use it, especially if you are keeping the milk that you're pumping from here, which I would suggest. So this is going to suction, and that suction will keep your letdown flowing and the milk flowing, collecting you milk while you nurse on the other side. And you're going to be getting, you know, up to 4 ounces every time you feed your baby. Now you could be using this and then switching it and feeding your baby and putting it on the other side, or if you just nurse on one side and suction on the other side, that's an option. Now, the other thing I love about this is as you get towards where you're no longer doing having engorgement, your milk's starting to regulate a little bit more, and you want to start weaning down to no longer having to use this. Because if you're using this, your body's thinking your baby's drinking that milk. It will continue to produce that much milk, but you can use this valve to adjust the amount of suction and just do a lighter suction every time you feed your baby, and then you'll train it to make less milk. And once you get to really just having like that initial letdown of milk coming maybe in your opposite breast, you can switch over to the Elvie Catch, or I think Haakaa makes one, it's called the Ladybug, but it is definitely thicker. This is super soft silicone. It caresses your breast, fits really comfortably into your bra, and then it just lets the letdown come out with no suction, but it'll catch it, saving your clothes, your bra, or needing even like a reusable breast pad or something. you can just use this, and then you could save that milk, or if it's just a drop or two, you could just, you know, rinse it out. But you're no longer going to have to be washing or carrying in your diaper bag like 10 wet breast pads or extra breast pads, because one's wet. You won't have to deal with any of that. You can just have this in there, which I find so incredibly convenient. So that is good for what I consider like weaning the boobs to be normal, not leaking machines. You know, they're just like, you can wear normal clothes again, and you're not dealing with all the things that sometimes come along with breastfeeding. The other thing I did want to mention is that since both of these can be worn in your bra, I actually take them with me, and I use them when we have company over all the time. Like, this is just part of breastfeeding my baby. I will use these. I don't feel like I need to have a cover or they make me extremely exposed. They are going to make one boob look a little bit awkward, but you're not going to be inappropriate in front of people. So that's great. And then this one, I mean, I will wear this when I go to the chiropractor. I'll have it and I'll feed my baby, and then I'll just take it out and be like, oh yeah, I fed them, and then I'll take it to the bathroom or whatever, or bring a jar with. When I was getting a lot, I'd have like a little cup in my car, like an insulated cup that I'd just fill on an outing, and it's super easy to. I think the only thing I didn't mention was how much they are. The Elvie Curve right now, this is, I think, $38 on Amazon. So you can get that. And the Boon Trove is around $15. I think I even saw it on sale for $13. So it's definitely less expensive. If you're on a super tight budget, I still think this would be a great product. Although if you can afford the splurge, I would go for the Elvie, because it is just top tier. This is top tier. You're going to use it so much. And you know what? In that first month establishing your breastfeeding routine, you need things that are going to make it easy, comfortable, and convenient. And this is going to create that stash that you want, so that you can go on a date with your husband or out in the evening, or just know, like, if something happens or you got sick and your supply dipped, you would have plenty of milk to sustain your baby until you could get it back up. And then also, as you start to wean, you have an option to do that. This is just so great, and it is a small penny to pay for the convenience and just the awesomeness that this is. All right, so that's everything I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some great information. If you did, make sure to like it. Leave a comment if you've tried these before, ranking any of them or your tips and tricks to make these products work the best that they can. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have the most blessed day, and bye for now.